Take a look at this play and tell me what you see.
I thought Sexton might take him off with his quickness advantage there, but he didn't.
Steph, a good look for three.
Did you see it? Well, if you didn't, let me tell you. This one play right here is the reason for Curry having 4 rings and 2 MVPs, KD having 2 Finals MVPs, and is also the sole reason for changing the way scoring is now seen in the NBA. Let me show you how that happened.
Lead in this opening round series. Morant. Oh!
While listening to LeBron and JJ Redick's new podcast, there was a part that stood out to me the most. It was when LeBron was talking about how he was able to finally figure out how to stop the Warriors' post-split action and how unstoppable it was at the time.
When everything went haywire, when it was fucking Kevin Durant over there and another shooter, it was like impossible to guard.
And this had me realizing that that one play actually made the Warriors run through the league for a span of 5 years. Before the Warriors would become the team we knew them today as, that dominated the league for half a decade, in the years of 2011 to 2014, the Warriors would be put under coaching provision by previous NBA All-Star Mark Jackson. Many people don't realize that the Warriors were already a good team before Steve Kerr even got there. And it was actually Mark Jackson that made the Warriors into a competitive team. Hence, before Steve Kerr, the Warriors were already one of the top teams in the league. So although Steve Kerr did make the Warriors into maybe the greatest dynasty of all time, Mark Jackson deserves his props for helping the Warriors to be a playoff contending team. Mark Jackson took the Warriors from a 26-win season the previous year to a 36-win record. In the first 2 seasons, the Warriors were still a bad basketball team. But in the 2013 season, the Warriors would finally figure things out, winning 47 games and becoming the 6th seed. This would be the first time the Steph Curry-era Warriors would make the playoffs, and they didn't disappoint. In the first round, they would be matched up with the 3rd-seeded Nuggets, who they beat in 6 games, with Curry averaging 23 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds in his first playoff series. A quick foreshadowing of what was to come in the future. But although they would advance to the second round, they would be defeated by the San Antonio Spurs in 6 games, who would eventually go on to make the finals. In the 2014 season, the Warriors would get even better, winning 51 games, but would still fall short, losing to the Clippers in the first round in a 7-game dogfight. Although Mark Jackson would bring the Warriors out of their bottom seeding days, he could never get them over the hump in the playoffs. And so, in May of 2014, Mark Jackson was fired and the Warriors signed former Chicago Bull and San Antonio Spur Steve Kerr, who played under the best coaches and systems of all time, with Greg Popovich and Phil Jackson, and was a part of the Bulls in their 72-10 season. Steve Kerr himself was one of the best 3-point shooters in the league at his time, having the best 3-point percentage among every player in the history of the NBA. So now with 2 of the best shooters in the league under the guidance of Steve Kerr, it was only a matter of time before all hell broke loose. The Warriors would start the 2015 season going 18-2 and ended the season with a 67-15 record, with everyone wondering how the Warriors just came out of nowhere dominating the league, not realizing it only took one play for them to change everything. The Warriors' split action consisted of the ball being entered into the low post, and when the ball is entered, the player who makes the entry pass would immediately screen away for the next closest player. These 2 players then split apart from each other, hence the name of this action. The player receiving the screen can use the screen, reject the screen, and backcut, or the player setting the away screen could slip to the rim depending on how heavily guarded the receiver is. So having a low post passer with a high IQ would be needed for this play to work perfectly. While you will see different teams favor different options, Golden State almost always sets the away screen for either Steph or Klay to use and come off looking for a kick-out 3 from the low post. Another reason Golden State's split action is so effective is the defense's natural tendency to relax or let their guard down when the ball is entered into the low post, especially perimeter defenders. Undisciplined perimeter defenders will often turn their head, ball watch, or overhelp when the ball is entered into the post. By masking their true intention with the post entry, Golden State's split action became that much harder to defend. This one play had become so effective, the Warriors in the previous season were 10th in the NBA in points average with 104.3 points per game, and the highest that season with the Clippers, averaging 107.9 points per game. And in the 2015 season, they surpassed that previous average by 6 points, scoring 110 points per game. Three-pointers were also a drastic change that the Warriors made, going from averaging 24.8 threes a game to 27 threes a game. And with this new system they had come up with, it helped them to make it past the hump in the playoffs and win a championship. And with every team seeing how this system made the Warriors so successful so quick, every other team started to implement threes into their game, which became the beginning of the three-point renaissance, with the league three-point average going from 21.7 attempts a game to 29.4 attempts. Although many teams saw a major regular season success with this new style of play, like the Rockets, Hawks, and Trailblazers, they never really made it far in the playoffs due to them not having the personnel of two top 5 three-point shooters in history like the Warriors. A funny analysis I found while making this video was that although there were teams that would average close to the amount of threes that the Warriors did, no team even came close to being as efficient as the Warriors, except the 2015 Hawks, who actually won 60 games that season. Just going to show the Warriors weren't the only team to find out about this three-point revolution so early. And after a full season of mastering and getting used to this system, the Warriors would then start the next season off going 24-0, which was an NBA record. They then proceeded to break a thought to be unbreakable record, winning 73 games. The Warriors were now an unstoppable team, having a point differential of 882 points, with LeBron even saying they were unbeatable. Their system had been so good that even superstar player Kevin Durant even wanted to play for the Warriors. And so, that was what he did. In the summer of 2016, Kevin Durant would become a free agent, and many teams were bidding on him, with many analysts trying to predict where he was going. Although there had been many reports of him maybe signing with the Warriors, at the time, it seemed too far-fetched that someone of KD's caliber would even join such an already dominant team. But on July 4, 2016, the whole sports world would shake as it was officially reported that KD had signed with the Golden State Warriors. KD received major backlash from fans and media and quickly turned from the most liked player in the NBA to the most hated in a matter of days, with the number one narrative being not the fact that he left the Thunder, but he went to a 73-win team, the same team that beat him in the Western Conference Finals.
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar. Plain and simple. That's just how I look at it. It's not that he's leaving Oklahoma City. If you're not happy there and you want to move on and you want to grow as a player, there's nothing wrong with that. He's one of the top 3 players in the world. He's a quintessential superstar. He deserves all the credit in the world for the talent that he possesses. But the flip side is this. They were up 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. Not 1, not 2, but 3 different times. He was 48 minutes removed from getting to the NBA Finals by winning the Western Conference. 3 times he failed, particularly in Game 6. And you depart for the team that beat you?
Already with 2 of the best shooters ever, you are a 4-time scoring champion, 1-time MVP, and a 50-40-90 club member, all while being 7 foot, to this already overpowered system, just made them probably the greatest team in NBA history.
When everything went haywire, when it was fucking Kevin Durant over there and another shooter, it was like impossible to guard because you couldn't help from the weak side because now Draymond's such a great IQ player. If you tag from the guy on the weaks, he throws it all the way across court.
And at the time, many people were unsure how this new Warriors team might turn out since they had so much star power and only one ball. But those questions would quickly be answered. The Warriors would finish the season going 67-15 while setting a playoff record of 16-1, with their only loss coming in Game 4 of the finals against the Cavs. The Warriors had become so unstoppable that teams felt the only way to beat them was to play like them, so that was what they did. The Houston Rockets was probably the only team to be able to master this system, having James Harden, Chris Paul, and Eric Gordon, all good enough shooters. They managed to win 65 games and grab the first seed with this type of play, and managed to lead the league in attempts this season with 42 threes a game. The Warriors would continue this dominance, winning another championship, sweeping LeBron and the Cavs, with KD getting Finals MVP in both years. This team was so dominant and unbeatable that everyone knew that it was just going to be the Warriors and whoever else in the finals. Even players sharing their frustration with the team.
Man, we still don't get no calls though. So when they start,
I'm not knocking it, but at the same time, I'm still playing against Andre Iguodala, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and whoever else during a time. Like, that's like playing versus MJ, fool. Like, it still don't make no sense. It doesn't justify anything. And y'all won a lot of championship, but it was lame as
Steph just won one by itself. Steph just won one by itself.
And that's perfectly fine. I'm talking about when you lame ass did that for 2 or 3 straight years. That was lame as
Was that us?
The only time the Warriors lost a playoff series was in the 2019 finals, where both KD and Klay Thompson went down with injuries. But everyone knew if it wasn't for injuries, they probably would have won the finals that year. After the 2019 season, KD was now a free agent, and due to the situation with Draymond Green during a game against the Clippers, KD felt that that was the breaking point in his tenure with Golden State, and then proceeded to join the Brooklyn Nets in free agency. All in all, although the Warriors aren't as good as they used to be due to the decline of Klay Thompson and their young stars still developing, they still find some type of success in their movement, predominantly due to the fact that Steph Curry isn't showing any signs of slowing down. Many teams in today's league took inspiration from the Warriors in running this play, like the Sacramento Kings, for example, which makes sense since they are coached by the previous assistant coach of the Warriors, Mike Brown. Will we ever see another team dominate the league like the Warriors did? Who knows? With the new generation of shooters that would start to sprout in the league, anything is possible.